Hi everyone, it's Jean from the Inky Studio. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I'm so happy to have you here. Uh, I am working on this cloth book journal mini, and I am, you know, showing you my process as I go through and hopefully give you some inspiration on perhaps a project that you're working on. Last time, or I should say 2 times ago, the very first installment of this, and this is part 3, we had a vote, or I put out for everyone to vote on the button that I wanted to put up in here, and I had 3 choices, and the choice ended up being the most popular was C, and I'm happy with that choice. Of course, I would have been happy with any of them, but I am really grateful for you helping me out on that. It's sort of the beigey pink one. I put in a little few threads here, and we'll be gluing that in. So let me get that in with a little bit of Fabri-Tac and get that all glued in there. I am so glad that you participated in the vote. Like I say, it does kind of help sometimes clear up my wondering. Sometimes you can just kind of get lost, right? There we go. Now, if you're finding these videos helpful for you and you're enjoying watching them, please consider subscribing and hitting the like button. That really helps us YouTubers out quite a bit. If there is some engagement on our channel every so often, it just helps us, helps the logarithm of YouTube to kind of put us out there. So whomever you're watching, whether it's me or someone else, yeah, those kind of things are really important for us as YouTube hosts. I'm also going to add this little bow here. This is actually not vintage, but I sprayed it with some distress ink and made it dark. It was actually white. So that cover's looking pretty good. You never know. I may want to add to it. It's kind of like how it happens. You know, when I do a collage, I let it sit, and sometimes I go back and add something else. So we did this first page, and now we're going to do this page. And I had said last time that I was going to do some hand embroidery, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I tore this little out from the fabric I tea stained. I tore this little square out, and I'm going to embroider across here. And I'm just going to do this freehand because I'm using a very simple design. And I don't mind that it is going to be a little on the random side. That's okay with me. Now there's some people who do embroidery and the back side is almost as beautiful as the front side. Well, that is just not me at all. So I'm going to do a lazy daisy stitch here. I think it's called other things too, but I think that's the one that I learned. So I'm going to make some petals is actually what I'm going to do around here. Now, doing this in a hoop or embroidering in a hoop is really, you know, the ideal way of doing it. But this fabric is pretty heavy, and as long as I don't pull too tightly, it will work out just peachy, I do believe. So I'm just coming up, making this little loop around, and then going almost where I came up at, going back in and going on the other side of the needle like so, and carefully, like I say, not pulling it too tight. So I will do a few more on camera. And actually, I really encourage you to try this. It's really, especially on something that you're not going to see the back of it, right? So you're never going to see this back And so you can be as messy as you need to be back there. Don't have to worry about that. And because this really is sort of a shabby chic type of a of a project, this embroidering I don't believe needs to be perfect by any means. And let's get in there. Because it is sort of, you know, shabby chic is kind of a relaxed putting together of different stuff. And so I guess I will complete this one flower. Wow. I'm coming around here. I hope everyone is doing fine, and I know some states starting to tighten up again. Yeah, I hope that it won't last for long. And so here's my little flower. And I am going to just knot this off here by making a knot down like this. Oops, a little bit long of a tail there. Get him out of there. I just make a tie, put my little needle down there. Let me do it up closer. Probably should have this a little bit closer. So I just loop around like so. And then before I tighten it, I hold my needle down close to the base. Whoops, I let it go there. Like that. So it is a bit of a knot there, so it should not be coming out. And just snip it off there. Okay. And especially like in a journal, you're not going to be wearing it and washing it, and so it will be fine even if you're a beginner to do this. Once I've gotten this done, then I'm going to be working on a stem, and oops. Actually, what I'm going to do, I think, before I do that stem, is I'm going to make another flower, and so let me do that and be right back. So I've completed my 3 flowers, and I think the one thing that I did want to point out is that I'm using pearl cotton, and that's really, or cotton pearl down there. You can read that. That's what I'm using. I really prefer this over embroidery thread. I just find it easier to work with. It's and it's also good for some other things. It's kind of a thick thread type of thing. So I find that to be the easiest one to work with. So I'm going to finish out this vine. So I did the 3 flowers, and I started with a little vine that's going to run and connect them all. And I will finish up with that one. And so I'm doing, I don't know, I think it might be called a running stitch. I don't really know the names of these. I just know that these are the things that I've done in the past. So I take a little small stitch, you know, not very big, not very long, come in, and then I take another one the size of the stitch I want, and come up, and then I'm going to go and split that previous piece of thread, go right inside of it, so that you're sort of like going in the middle of that thread, and it kind of gives it a lot more connection that way. And then when you do I really should have started from the center. Oh well, got to talking. When you do a turn or a curve, you really want to make them small stitches to do that. So here, I think I can get her done. Now, I did design this freehand. I didn't really know what I was going to do till I just started, just sort of like doodling, drawing. And what I would recommend is that one of the design elements is to work in odd numbers. So I have an odd number of flowers. I have 3, and the petals are 5, which is an odd number. And that's supposed to really be something to do with good design. And again, I'm no expert, but I do know that working that way has always served me well. And I think if you remember that in whatever you're creating, it'll help you. And so we just come back in here and we want to pierce that last thread, and then we'll come right down here to the end. That's kind of a long stitch, but I think I can make it work. There we go. And now I'm going to go back and put in, of course I could have done this along the way. I'm going to put in leaves. And for the leaves, I am making them smaller than the petals, so they don't compete too much. And I'll put one here. And oops, there we go. I'll put another one about right in here, I believe. Be a good spot right here. So when I hold this, I'm sort of holding it with these 2 fingers and between my my ring finger and my thumb to kind of give it a little bit of stretch the fabric a little bit and hold it kind of firm. There we go. There's our little leaf there. So I should have an odd number of leaves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. There we go. Now, is this professional? No, it's not professional. But is it cute? Yeah, it's cute. And I think it looks really nice in a little shabby chic journal. And also, it's hand done. It's obviously hand done. And, you know, it just speaks volumes when something is done by hand. Now, I'm not going to stop there. I want to do something with the centers of these little flowers. So I have some little tiny beads here. Used to make jewelry, but let me tell you, my eyes just don't let me do it anymore. So I'm going to take out 3 little beads, and I'm going to use, for this, I'm going to use a regular thread. And like I say, I'm no professional. No professional at all. Let me just put her in there. And put this little piece of pink there. Just a little bit to kind of brighten it up just a little bit there. Yeah, I really like that. So I do like to add beads to my sewing. Or my embroidery, I should say. I like to do that. So there's that one bead there. Really cute, huh? I'm pleased with the way that turned out. Now you can get different threads. You can get threads that are shiny, metallic type of threads, which would also be fun to work with. And also, if you are intimidated by just, you know, doodling without a plan, you know, embroidering without a plan, you can purchase marker pens that will disappear or wash out. And then you can draw your little plan out right away, which really in a lot of ways simplifies the whole process. But sometimes I kind of like the fun of something happening that I'm not expecting. Sort of the adventure. And you know what? This is really, when you're working with pearl cotton, it's easy to take it out. So easy. If you're not pleased with what you stitched, it's so easy to take out. It really is. And so we'll just do one last little bead there. And I will get that finished for you. All right, so I've got my 3 beads in, and I've stitched around the outside of it. And it will eventually be going into this page. Look really cute. However, before I attach it to this page, I did want to finish up this one because I do plan to sew onto the page itself. So the thing, because this is single-sided, what you sew on one side, you know, shows on the other. So I've chosen to just sew on one side, and the other side I will sew on the ephemera and glue it in. So that's what I plan to do here. See how that goes, you know, gotta experiment. So this project on this side, I'm going to be using a tea bag. I use tea bag, and these are the family size tea bags that we get to make green tea with. Not the individual servings, but the family sized ones. And I'm going to be using this lovely flower and this belly band that I've distressed out of scrapbook paper. So that'll be the belly band that I'm going to place here so that something can fit underneath that way. And for this tea bag, I am going to glue the front side of this flower. Now I've chosen a, you know, a bright flower. I mean, it's not real super bright, but it's a well-defined flower because we're going to be putting it behind the tea bag. And you just kind of want a little bit of that flower, whoops, to kind of show somewhat on this side, just a little bit. So I'm going to put a little bit of this. I'm using Distress Collage Medium. You could use Mod Podge. I'm just going to go over it a little bit on this side. All right, so that simply brings out the flower. Now you could just place something inside the 2 tea bags, but by adding the collage medium, it forces the image to one of the sides of the tea bag, so you can see it's still muted, but you can see it a little bit better. So this is going to be a flippy page. So what I will be doing is sewing it in here, and so that you can flip it open. Now the other side of this flower was dark white, so I just took Distress ink with a brush and kept going over it till I darkened it up, so that when you opened it up, it kind of blends in with the rest of the tea bag. So let me go to the machine, and I'm going to give this, I'm going to stitch it right into this page. Right into here. Well, I ended up stitching around the 3 sides first before I stitched it down into my fabric, just to give it a little bit of a frame. I thought that would look nice, and the more I think about it, I probably should have did a second stitch around. But it's good. And inside is the belly band, which I've stitched on to there, and so eventually I'll get something to go in there. And so that page is looking pretty good. I do believe I'm going to put a little bit of this pink lace down here on the other side to maybe kind of give an awareness that this edge you can lift it up with, or make it look different on this edge than the other edges. Kind of give this sense of maybe opening it up. There we go. And do like that. There. For some of these things, you know, if I'd planned it better, I would have sewn it on. But sometimes it doesn't work that way, and it's okay. It's okay. Yep. So that'll be a nice little addition to that. Flippy page. Now over here, then we can go right ahead and glue in this pocket. And now we are all set with it on that page. Just put it here like this. Okay. So this page then is done, and then we'll get a nice tag to put in there. I've even considered actually getting some of this Tim Holtz wallpaper, maybe putting the backing in there, but I'm not sure. I think maybe the tag will be enough. I might make a real lacy built up tag. So we've got that going there, and I did also do this page. Oh, maybe I did this last time. Yep, I did this last time. So now we're building it up pretty good here. So we got these pages done, or at least the background done on these pages here. Right? Okay. And I am working on a very major project. I'm commissioned on commission, and it's taken up a lot of my time. So this is, to me, is kind of a break, and it's kind of relaxing, and you know, this does tend to be a rather stressful time of the year anyway, so I find this just really relaxing. And I think if you think of a project maybe you can work on during this busy, hectic season that you find relaxing, that would just be awesome. So I will talk to you later. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Bye!